2005 edition is amended relating to geothermal drilling. As a new article, geothermal drilling as follows. Definitions. For the purposes of this article, the following words and phrases, unless the context otherwise requires, shall be defined as indicated. Residence means a building or a part thereof permitted and designed for or used for a home. And 1 mile means the measurement made from the well bore in a straight line without regard to intervening structures or objects to the property line of the nearest residence. And restrictions, geothermal resources, exploration, drilling, and geothermal production drilling operations being conducted 1 mile or less from a residence shall be restricted to the operating hours of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. This bill was introduced by Mr. Yagong and approved by the AWESC Committee.
Vice Chair Flago.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Motion to approve Bill 292.
Second.
Second by Ms. Ford. Mr. Blanco, could you take this, chair this particular item? I'd like to speak on Bill 292.
Let the record show I'm chairing this item. Mr. Yagong, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. First of all, council members, thank you very much for the support, majority support that we received regarding this particular bill. And I gotta say that I'm quite disappointed with some of the information that we received from PGV in regards to this. Certainly questioning jurisdictional issues. And I just want to say this to my colleagues here on the council. Council members, Chapter 14, General Welfare. This is a section that we have that the council has the authority to make amendments or changes to that particular county code that allows us, when we dictate necessary, the opportunity to protect the general welfare and safety and health and safety of our community. Irregardless of what has been said today by those that support, 24-hour drilling, it is absolutely unacceptable. If you are only those that have come forward that have said that it's okay to drill 24 hours are either those that come from the industry or those that live a distance away. If you live next to a plant, just think about where you live today, and to have a industry come in and drill 24 hours a day at the noise level that I witnessed personally myself at the Lanituna subdivision. It is totally unacceptable to say that it's okay for it to happen at 2 o'clock in the morning, or 4 o'clock in the morning, or 5 o'clock in the morning. When you're talking about a residential area, although zone agriculture, where you have families that work and children that needs to go to school, it's just not acceptable for us to allow that to happen. That's where we, as a council, need to be able to set down the rules, because we're the only people that can do it, that would allow to protect against these type of industries that would harm in terms of noise and sleep deprivation, and we're the only body that can do it. Now, they have talked about jurisdictional issue. Council members, what this bill does, it does not say that you cannot drill. It does not take away the authority of the Planning Commission or the DOH in terms of them allowing to permit for drilling or setting the sound allowable, the decibels. It does not do any of that. All it says is you can do that, but just don't do it from 7 o'clock at night to 7 in the morning. That's all it does. It does not take away the jurisdiction. Now, I will tell you this, where PGV might be right. When they say that they had been issued a permit, and the permit allows them to drill 24 hours a day, and that permit was issued by the Planning Commission or by DOH. And now I come up with this law, and yes, obviously, Mr. Yes, a lawyer can come forward and say, now wait a minute, you have no jurisdiction. They already provided us a permit to do this. Well, here's the thing. The drilling permit is not in perpetuity. The drilling permit is allowed within a certain period of time. That's why they had to come in for the drilling permit number 2 in order to do the recent drilling that they did. And that's why they had to come in with the permit number 1 when they first opened, when they first came into the area. But the fact of the matter is, drilling has completed for permit number 2. And if they want to ask for another drilling permit, and that be because maybe they got the RFP from HELCO to do another 50 megawatts, if this law is in place, this ordinance is in place, well, that Planning Commission is duty bound to abide by the county code. So at that point in time, we would be able to allow this law to be able to be implemented into the permit. But could we have done it when the drilling was happening? Absolutely not. I think we would be sued, because at that time we would be overstepping our boundaries. But if if the county council sets a rule now, it means for any future drilling. It means if someone drill, in Kaumana, or they drill in Kilkaha, or they drill in Hamakua or Hualalai, then they would have to abide by the standards. If there's a residence within 1 mile, that they have to drill between 7 and 7. Folks, that's reasonable. That's what we do. We set the standards that is acceptable to the people that we represent. And as far as I'm concerned, it is way within our authority. And we did not stop the drilling that PVG just did. They stopped the drilling. They were supposed to drill for a couple of months. They ended up drilling for 4 months, I think it was, out there. But now the drilling has stopped. They are no longer drilling for that permit number 2. So we are totally in our jurisdiction to come forth with this legislation to help protect the people. And folks, it's not only of the people that surrounds PGV, but it protects the entire island in case there is any future exploratory or geothermal drilling. So, council members, don't sometimes it's easy to really get concerned when you have people that are attorneys that are writing letters and so forth. But folks, don't give up our authority. That's what we were elected to do. Protect the health and safety of the people of this county. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Ikeda.
Yes, can I have Mr. Brahmati please come up? Yes, I'm looking at Mr. Brahmati's opinion.
Deputy Council, please. You have the floor, Mr. Ikeda.
Mr. Brahmati, you heard Chairman Yagong's argument. Would you like to comment, Mr. I'm looking at your opinion?
Good afternoon, Chairman and Council members. William Burhanti, Deputy Corporation Counsel, County of Hawaii. Mr. Ikeda, at this time, if we are going to be discussing the items that were incorporated in my letter, which is a confidential letter in which I submitted on behalf of a request from one of the council members at the most recent committee meeting where we discussed this issue, I'm going to request that we perhaps go into executive session. We'll be dealing with some potential liability issues that the county may have to discuss and consider as we move forward with this. And I think HRS 92FA4 permits that. So I'm going to be requesting that we consider that prior to engaging in any more dialogue here.
Michael. Thank you, sir. I understand there's a second option, that if all 9 wish to waive privilege, we can discuss in public.
All 9 wish to waive and privilege the letter.
Yes.
I believe that is the case, but I think we might go beyond that, the topic and the discussion of the letter as we move forward here. So again, I'll reiterate that I would like to request that we move into executive session or entertain that.
Can we just table this and go to executive section later?
Point of order.
Let me get a comment from the clerk to see if we should table this item to go into session, executive session at a later time.
Thank you very much.
I wish an opinion from the clerk, please.
Mr. Palago, that's the privilege of the council. You may choose to table should you wish.
Sir, I still have Mr. Ikeda on the floor, and I have Mr. Arline.
Okay, then can I make a motion to table
292.
For later on, I wanted to go into executive session with them.
There's a motion to table 292 to in amending our agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, sir. Discussions on the motion to table. Mr. Yagong.
I just want to clarify what the motion is. When you say you want to table, that's different from a motion to enter into executive session at this point in time. So what is your,
Table.
just move to hold off until the end of the calendar?
Let's forward then, Ms. Smart.
Thank you.
Mr. Palago,
comment too?
After Ms. Smart, thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'm going to oppose tabling this issue. The reason, first of all, we are down one person. In order for us to take a vote, whether in executive session or outside of executive session, in order to release privilege on just this letter, we need 9 people to vote aye. Mr. Onishi has left the room several minutes ago and is not here to vote either way. So that's the first problem that I see, whether we table it or not. Secondly, we've had people here all day waiting to have this discussion. And I think we owe it to them to have the discussion publicly. Third, I am very concerned about this particular communication that came from Corporation Counsel. Without divulging the contents, it seems to me that this is a letter of I'm not going to say this correctly. It feels like a letter of support for PGV to be taken care of behind closed doors without the public being aware of what the discussion is about. And I have a problem with that. I think if this is a legitimate concern, the public needs to be educated along with the council on this particular issue. And so I'm having a problem even going into executive session. So with that, I yield.
Thank you. Clarification, though, the motion is to table to end of calendar. I will be moving on to Ms. Smart and then on to Mr. Hoffman. But, Madam Clerk, just a clarification, if we have a motion to go into executive session, it would require 6 votes, am I correct? This council rules require 6 votes into executive session. Will you kindly check on that, and I'll come back to you. I'll move to Ms. Smart.
Mr. Palagapchi, I do have the answer to that question. You have 8 council members present today. That would mean that 2/3 vote would be 6 votes.
Thank you. Ms. Smart.
Thank you. I also am going to be voting against tabling. We have a number of diehards here, for lack of a better term, who have come every single time, stay the course, and want to listen and hear what the discussion is. We've sat here all day and listened to them. Now they want to hear our discussions and our points of view and see what happens with this. And I think we owe them that. I mean, what else are we here for? I understand the letter from Corporation Counsel. I don't agree that we should take it behind closed doors, but if that were the case, I think it would be more prudent to do it now and to let the audience back in after that discussion takes place and dispense of the issue while the public is still here. I will be voting against tabling at this point in time out of respect to the people that have stayed all day to hear the results of this issue.
Thank you, Ms. Smart. The motion to table only requires 5 votes. Mr. Hoffman?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just let me say ditto to what Ms. Smart had just so eloquently explained regarding tabling the issue, and that's all we're talking about at the moment. I, for one, am hard-pressed to understand why the public can't be educated as we would be on the contents of the letter that the Corporation Counsel has indicated, since that's certainly pertinent to the determination of the Council's action regarding this particular measure. So I can't see tabling it at this time for all the reasons previously provided. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Yoshimoto, you had initiated inquiry?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. It sounds like the objection, and I'd like to hear from other council members, is tabling to the end of calendar. But if we were to just go into executive session now and just address the issue the Corporation Counsel wants to address with us, wouldn't that just solve the issue for now? Because I just assume get it over with too, but I want to hear what our attorney wants to tell us, and if we want to waive the privilege or whatever, then we can do it at that time. I don't see a problem with doing that, because I think there might be some concerns, but we won't know until we hear them, other than what's in the letter, as Mr. Brahati has mentioned. So, if that's the will of the council, maybe the motion could be modified to just go into executive session right now, just for this one particular item. Food for thought. Thank you.
Very good comments, sir. The motion is to table, and that was made by Councilmember Ikeda. Do you wish to withdraw and a motion to effect? Okay. The motion to go into to table to end of calendar is now withdrawn. Sir, make a motion, please.
Motion. Move to go into executive session.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to go into executive session. All those Discussion, please, for the motion. Mr.
Yes.
Kidder, you have the floor.
Yes, most of the council members, we would like to get to me, it's very important for me, this opinion from the Corporation Council. This is gonna help me make my decision. And, if the Deputy Corporation Council said that we need to go into executive session, I do want to comply with his wishes. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Yvonne.
Thank you. I appreciate, Mr. Gator, first of all, thank you for doing the motion to go into executive session. But I need to clarify with the Corporation Council. Mr. Brillante, you have already come before this county council at the committee level in regards to, your opinion regarding whether, we can pass Bill 292. So with that said, it seems that you personally have already waived that privilege by discussing that privilege in an open session already, because from what you discussed in committee, it's not much different from what you put in writing. So could you make that determination? It seems to me that you've already waived privilege.
That was a consideration I had when I reflected back as to what happened at the committee level when we had this discussion. The question was posed regarding whether I felt the bill itself was drafted with sufficient legal basis to support the bill. And at that time, that was a question taken off the cuff, and I didn't complete, or I felt at the time I did not sufficiently complete research, fully into the actual question that was posed. And I think that my response to that question, again, harking back to 2 weeks ago, was as it related to the actual permit that was in hand, that PBG had in hand. As you can see, there was the letter expanded on that position, and the comments I made at the time were as it referenced the permit. I think there may be some additional legal concerns that we need to discuss in executive session, and that's why I'm bringing that up.
So it is in your opinion that you did not already waive the privilege by discussing, because you were pretty clear in what you stated. It wasn't like, I'm not sure, however, I mean, you was pretty clear in what you said. I could read it back if you want.
I'm glad to hear that I was clear. Sometimes I have a problem with that, but no, I think the opinion at that time, or the comments I made, was specifically related to the validity of the permit. I think this question goes much farther than that, as we're moving forward.
Mr. Chair, are you?
Yes, Mark.
Just for a point of clarification, should we go into executive session and have the discussion, we can then, during that time, after hearing the discussion, still make a determination whether we want to waive privilege. So in theory, we could still come back in live open session if we all vote to waive the privilege and have the exact same conversation in public. Correct. It'd be a little duplicitous, but we could still communicate to the public after hearing from court counsel if we determine that we would like to do so. Am I right on that?
You are.
My second question is, do we then, it's just procedural, and I think the answer has got to be yes, because no one's brought this up before. Are we allowed to go into 2 separate executive sessions since we have another one agendized later? I assume that must be the answer since no one's brought it up. Thank you.
We're in it.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Hoffman, please.
Sorry, I just wanted to follow up on what Ms. Smart said. I'm concerned that if we go into executive session and one member of the council decides that the contents of the letter should not be revealed, we cannot then come back out of executive session and explain to the public at least the general outline of the contents of the letter that Mr. Brillante has put before us. Am I correct on that?
You are correct, sir. The privilege and confidential remains.
And it must be for all 9 members, and if one person remains absent for whatever reason, clearly we can't reveal the contents of that letter then.
Correct, sir. Unanimous.
Yeah, okay. I have problems thinking that the public should be denied the opportunity by anyone to at least hear the overall contents of the letter, but we'll take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional comments, questions? Ms. Ford, briefly,
Thank you.
please.
Very briefly.
Thank you.
I move to waive the attorney-client privilege for the letter dated, I see no date on this letter, written by Mr. Grilhanti, October 1st. Letter dated October 1st, written by Mr. Grilhanti in response to Mr. Yoshimoto regarding Bill 292.
With respect, ma'am, I'm unable to entertain the motion nor the second. I have a motion to go into executive session that has been discussed.
I apologize for this. I would request that Mr. Ikeda withdraw his other motion so we can have the discussion on waiving. Okay.
Very well. Additional comments, questions? Again, Madam Clerk, a clarification. The motion is to go into executive session. We require a supermajority 6. Is that correct?
2/3 vote constitutes 6 votes.
Thank you, ma'am. Would you read the roll, please?
Mr. Bloss? Ms. Ford? No. Mr. Hoffman?
Aye.
Mr. Ikeda?
Aye.
Mr. Onishi? Mr. Pilago?
No.
Ms. Bart? Mr. Yoshimoto? Chair Ito? Chair Pilago, you have 6 ayes.
Your recommendation and how do we moving into executive session is not approved. How do we move into that, Madam Clerk?
Clear the room. We'll leave. Anybody been to an ethics commission? They did it 3 times in one meeting.
Privileges, immunities, and other associated rights of the council when meetings is lifted. You may make a second motion, perhaps Mr. Lawson. Are you done? Okay, well
We
then
already
you're done.
passed the motion to
Okay, done.
into executive session. If we could drop down, please.
You have a sign now and it's laminated. Isn't that cute? Wait. Oh, there we are. Thank you. Okay, we're kicked out. It's official. We are not in the Cool Kids Club at all. We're at the dork table in high school.
Well, that's the coolest table anyway.
That's right. You gotta be 40 to understand that, but I know.
Well, hey,
And we asked as part of our curriculum people to do the genealogy. If they don't have an outstanding tuna, that we
Oh my goodness, they're taking out a board now. So they only dispense with what the other That's it. And we're on number 2 of 37. Yes, ma'am. They're gonna do this one, and then what was the other one?
These 5.
Oh, you mentioned it, I can't remember. They're gonna take 3 out of order, the one that we're all here for.
And so I wondered if you
And then
know,
they're going to
remember
the
if you
executive
had
sessions on the agenda for the election. So this is extra.
They're worried your computer's gonna like monitor their meeting, right? Your computer.
No, this is my computer. Oh, really?
Well, I think it's okay. It's plugged in back when
Just tell people it's limitation days if you
Bet you $1.
I think they got
Because you think I didn't consider that? Of course I did.
She was even worried about
Damn
my
phone's
breath.
dead. They know I have that. They don't know about the phone yet. Well, Brittany does, but she
That's all right. But it was,
I wish I was
kidding me? Of course I considered that. Oh, they gotta close the curtains even.
They always
They didn't
do.
even.
They always do it.
Did they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they always do.
I don't think they did at the ethics committee. I don't remember them doing it. They did it wrong. They did it wrong in ethics. Ethics is so unethical. Oh my god. Don't even get me started on those people. Oh my god.
Wait a minute. I forgot my tape recorder.
Plug in or find another power source. Oh, please. God. RJ, where's that outlet? It's over there, I think. Oh, no. No, what?
I said, D, is my tape recorder beep when you turn it off?
I know. My phone died. I tried to Ustream, and so I blew my phone battery. I had no idea it was going to be so fun. You know, I'd have made preparations. Oh my. No, which one are you here for?
The last one.
Oh, you know they're going to kick you out for that. Why'd you even come?
I wish they'd kick me out.
Dang, you are in the Cool Kids Club then. Just not this Cool Kids Club. Not the good one. Not the Geothermal Cool Kids. You're the election Cool Kids. Alright. Outlet. Is that the one you use, the outlet in the gravel? I was live streaming from my phone and the phone died, so now we're just recording.